The Jets just had one of their greatest wins in the last 20-something years, and we're going to break it all down. Hello, everyone. My name is Jake Asman. This is the Jake Asman Show, post-game edition after the Jets upset the Cincinnati Bengals 34-31 behind a spectacular 405-yard performance by backup quarterback Mike White. Let's talk about all of it. But first, if you're new to the channel, if you like these types of videos, if you want to support me, you could do that by subscribing. Smash that subscribe button on the right-hand side of your screen. Comment your thoughts afterwards. Like this video by clicking the thumbs up icon. Those are all ways you could help me continue to grow this channel. Let's talk about it, Jet fans. Wow. Was that one of the better performances that we have seen from a Jets team in the last 20-something years? I mean, let's start with just this offense. I mean, for the Jets to go out there and put up 34 points with Mike White in at quarterback, Mike White, who had to come back from injury in this game, simply put, is just remarkable. Mike White, you say the numbers out loud, it's hard to fathom a Jet quarterback did this. 37-45, 405 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. The 2 interceptions, they really even weren't his fault. They were not bad interceptions by any means. Mike White went out there and executed this offense as well as we have seen anyone do it. Mike White went out there and did something that we were all screaming for a Jet quarterback to do. Take the easy throw. Throw to your check down route. Let's go back to this game's opening drive for the Jets. Very first drive for New York. 7 of 7 for 65 yards. Mike White checked the ball down to Ty Johnson multiple times on that drive, to Michael Carter a bunch. They did such a good job of just getting him in a rhythm early. And I think, this coaching staff led by Robert Saleh deserves so much praise. I thought the idea to put Mike LaFleur back up in the coaching booth, I mean, that is something that will drastically change how this Jets season plays out, because we saw a real offense today. We saw this Shanahan West Coast offense for the first time. The dinking and the dunking, check downs to your running back, like all things we wanted to see the Jets do. I mean, look at the receptions for the Jets today. Michael Carter led this team in receptions with 9. Ty Johnson had 5. Elijah Moore 6. Jamison Crowder 8. They did such a good job of just spreading the ball out, not trying to force too much. Mike White ran this offense beautifully. Booth, Mike LaFleur. That to me was the biggest key to all this. We were screaming for some competency. We were screaming for just a team that competes. And this offense went out there right from the jump, opening drive, taking this lead, and gave the Jets a real chance. And defensively, the Jets did all they could. Now, I was a little critical late in this game when it felt like the Bengals were going to go right down the field and score and win again. But when the Jets finally needed to get a stop, how great was that play by Shaq Lawson, that athletic play for him to go out there, come up with that interception. I mean, that was just a phenomenal play by Lawson there. I mean, this is a Jets team that desperately needed to give this fan base something, desperately needed to give us something. And they went out there and they played their asses off. And that's all we wanted to see. I talked about this on my Twitter account at Jake Asman watching this game. We did not even want to see wins necessarily this year. Just don't get embarrassed. Just compete. The Jets were competing in this game from the opening drive. I thought it was a great message that Robert Saleh sent to the team to take the ball to start the game. It's little things like that that we notice. It's putting LaFleur back up in the booth. And I'll tell you what, here's a stat that no one's talking about. The Jets are undefeated when Robert Saleh coaches with a beard. So now the beard has to stay. LaFleur's got to stay up in the coaching box. I mean, there's just so much to talk about with this game. But, I mean, we have to continue to talk about Mike White. I mean, a Jet quarterback throwing for 405 yards. The last time a Jet quarterback threw for over 400 yards, you got to go back to Christmas Eve in the year 2000 when Vinny Testaverde did it against the Baltimore Ravens. Just unbelievable. The Jets had 512 yards of total offense. Where was this coming? I mean, passing yards, 414, rushing yards, 97. They ran for a touchdown. They had creative play calling. I mean, look, Mike LaFleur deserved a lot of criticism for how this team had come out and played so far this season. But today, he had one of the best games I could ever recall a Jets play caller has ever had. I mean, the Philly special at the end on the 2-point conversion, you tell me, Jet fans, when was the last time the Jets ran a trick play in a big spot and it actually worked? It actually worked. I mean, It was phenomenal what we saw out there from this team offensively. I mean, Mike White, he started this game 11 of 11. I mean, the interception that got tipped off the hands of Jamison Crowder into Jesse Bates, that wasn't his fault. I mean, early on in this game, he just got into a rhythm. He got comfortable. The play calling was there. The checking it down to the running backs was there, right? The Jets did not even have their number one receiver in Corey Davis, but they didn't need him because they ran such a fluid offense. They ran an offense that maximized the strengths of this team. They have a lot of playmakers that could beat you in between the numbers. They have a lot of guys that could beat you out of the backfield. And we saw Michael Carter make so many plays. Ty Johnson makes so many plays. It was just so refreshing to see the Jets go out there and compete, right? Get big stops, move the chains. You know, as far as the call at the end of the game, yeah, the Jets got a break with the helmet-to-helmet call when, you know, Ty Johnson got hit there. But guess what? The Jets are due for a break. Don't apologize. The Jets were the better team in this game. If it had not been for the turnovers early in this game, the Jets would have won by more than 3 points as well. The Jets were the better team today. And make no mistake about it, for this team to bounce back from what we watched last Sunday speaks volumes about this coaching staff, right? Jet fans were rightfully down on Robert Saleh, rightfully down on Mike LaFleur. I don't think any rational Jet fan is saying fire those guys, but this is why you need to give them more time. And for them to come out there after they were embarrassed last week, allowed Mac Jones, a rookie quarterback, to put up 54 yards of points on them, for them to respond at home with a backup quarterback is just a stunning turn of events. I don't think anyone in their wildest dreams could have predicted this, and it speaks volumes about this coaching staff. That is a huge culture-changing type of win for this organization. For them to go out there and play this well at home with Mike White at quarterback, I mean, it's stunning. And the major takeaways should have some long-term impact on this team going forward, regardless of who the quarterback is, because eventually Zach Wilson's going to come back, and Mike White's going to push him to get even better. But LaFleur's going to be up in the booth. We've seen this offense get a chance to run the way we all envisioned it running, with the checkdowns and getting the backs out of the backfield. I mean, this was as encouraging of a Jet performance offensively that we've seen in such a long time. And, you know, I also just can't say enough about some of the key plays that this defense made. An undermanned defense, getting the goal line stop early in the first half was huge. How big was that Quentin Williams sack on fourth down? The loss of 12, turnover on downs when the Bengals started at the Jets won. I mentioned the Shaq Lawson play. We saw Bryce Hall make a couple tough plays when guarding Jamar Chase. I mean, this was a total team effort. The Jets went out there top to bottom and were the better team today. They got a huge break at the end. Make no mistake about it. But, man, was just a great win. Just a tremendous, tremendous win by the Jets. I mean, you can't say enough good things about Mike White. He looked in total control. He looked like he knew where to go with the football. It was stunning. You just look at the stat line here. I mean, Michael Carter, 9 catches, 95 yards. What a pick that's going to end up being by Joe Douglas. Getting Jamison Crowder in the mix, 8 catches for 84 yards. Like, that's the offense, man. Get the ball out quick. Get it to guys in space. Elijah Moore had his best game as a pro with 6 catches for 67 yards. Hell, we even saw Denzel Mims get involved. Now, I like Mims. He's got to catch that ball that Mike White put, or actually it was Josh Johnson at that point, put right on him, which would have been a touchdown. So you even saw, Mims make some plays. Tyler Kroft is back, and he had a huge touchdown at the end there. Who saw that coming? Braxton Berrios with a heck of a catch that ended up being a touchdown. After the previous play, Keelan Cole, that was a touchdown. I don't know what NFL officials are looking at. I mean, man, I'm pumped up. This was a tremendous win, a win that is a program-building type of win for Saleh and his staff. And I think if you're a Jet fan, you got to be thrilled about the bounce back this team showed you. Now, it's a short week, Thursday night against Indy. They just played an overtime game where they lost to the Colts. So, if the Jets can go out there and take a lot of the principles they showed today, they're going to be competitive on Thursday night. And that's all we were asking for. We were just asking for this team to not get embarrassed, show some improvement. And eventually, when Zach Wilson gets back, it's really going to push him here. And let's continue to see, how this develops. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, Mike White's the answer. And, this is Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe all over again. Let's calm down a little bit. But, I mean, you have every right to be pumped up, every right to be excited. I mean, a Jet quarterback just went 37 of 45 for 405 yards and had 3 touchdowns, and then caught the game-winning 2-point conversion pass on a Philly special. I mean, this was one of the more random, bizarre, stunning Jet games that I can remember in my lifetime as a fan of this team. So those are my initial thoughts. Thanks to everyone who's watching so far. We got over 200 people watching this live. I ask, if you're new to the channel, to click the subscribe button on the right-hand side of the screen. Like this video as well. That will help me continue to grow. I want to hear from you, though, now. If you got a comment, a question on this game, let it rip. Let's see what you guys are thinking in the comment section. Thanks to everyone, as always, who took time to watch this game. Let's start with a good one from Eric here. JETS, 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 Jets. Yes, let's enjoy the win. We don't get many of these. It's been rough these last 10 years. It's been rough going through the Gase era. It's been rough with this 1-5 start to the year. But you just watched a Jet quarterback go out there and throw for 3 touchdowns, have a 107.9 passer rating. Just unbelievable. Melvin, what just happened? Mike White balled out of control. Yes, he did. Calvin Watson. This is what happens when your quarterback has protection. I think it's a great point. Mike White only got sacked twice this entire game. He dropped back 45 times the pass and only got sacked twice. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. The Jets offensive line today, down to their 3rd-string tackle because of the injury they suffered. You're talking about Udoka having to come into this game and play on the offensive line. So, I mean, you obviously hope that, this team doesn't suffer any more injuries, but for them to go out there and win when they were, looking at, an injury here on the left side of their offensive line to George Fant, and Udoka's got to come in and play. I mean, this line did a really, really good job. Hayden Nate, since the Rex Ryan days, I last saw some trickery. Yeah, this was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. The coaching performance all around was phenomenal, both defensively and offensively. I mean, for everyone that is ripping Mike LaFleur, isn't it nice to eat some crow? He deserves so much credit. Something that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks is he should be coaching from the booth. They did that today, and look what happened. Doesn't mean that every week who's ever playing quarterback for this team is throwing for 400 yards, but it does mean that that's where he should stay. And I already saw that Robert Saleh said after the game that that's where he's going to be, and that should be the case. I mean, just unbelievable. It just I'm without speech. I mean, Mike White went out there and led the Jets to a win over a Bengals team that, coming into today, had the best record in the AFC. Would have been the one seed. Simply put, just phenomenal. Keep LaFleur in the booth. Yes, 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 yes. Ray writes in, Jake, you did mention one of your videos the significance of calling the plays from the booth. I think that's a big key to all this, guys. I really do. I don't think that could be overstated here. Mike LaFleur said he was more comfortable in the booth than he was on the sideline, but Zach Wilson asked him to be on the sideline to be near him as he started his NFL career. Well, Mike LaFleur tried being in the booth today, and it worked. And Saleh said afterwards that's where he's going to be, regardless of who the quarterback is. So we shall see. Where are the Saleh and LaFleur haters now? This is a major win for those guys. This is a program-building type of win. This is a win that means so much for this franchise because the players start to buy in when they see things like this work. When your 2 wins are over 2 of the best teams in the AFC in Tennessee and Cincinnati, then you're talking about a locker room that's going to buy into this coaching staff, and you got to start somewhere. Changing the culture is not easy. The Jets are attempting to do that, and I mean, my goodness, just couldn't believe this was a Jets team that we were watching here. I couldn't believe that this was a team that lost 54-13 last week to the New England Patriots. Just unbelievable. LaFleur needs to stay in the booth. Funny feeling that is the most common thing the Jet fan could agree on right now. I mean, when Mike White can go out there and pass for 405 yards, yeah, I'd say it's pretty safe that he's going to stay in the booth. I mean, the other thing I noticed as well, just the play calling in general by LaFleur was so vastly different. We saw more end arounds. We saw more, screen plays. We saw more checkdowns. Like the easy stuff we were just complaining about, trying to see this team run. Like they did it today. Like I was like, are my eyes deceiving me? Is this the Jets? Like, you can make a Halloween joke. Like the Jets decided to dress up as a functioning football team today. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And by the way, in case you were wondering, Robert Saleh already said that Mike White is going to start on Thursday. against the Colts, as if there was any doubt. If he played poorly today, maybe we see Joe Flacco on Thursday. But I'll tell you what, that was one of the better performances we've seen by a Jet quarterback. So the Jets get a primetime game Thursday night. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman on the call, Mike White at quarterback, and the Jets are not the joke of the NFL anymore. They are certainly not. Let's see. John Lyons running in. Subscribe. Let's get the 7.6 thousand today. John Lyons, you're the man. Thanks to all the great viewers of the channel. You guys are awesome. Love talking about the Jets, especially after a win right here. Keep Mike White. He's 25 and has 3 years of experience. I don't see Mike LaFleur on the field again. No, LaFleur is going to be in the press box for as long as he's an offensive coordinator. It goes without saying. And Mike White's been around a couple of years. So, like, that's the thing with Zach Wilson, right? Like, Zach Wilson is coming into a team that is not great with a rookie coach, rookie OC. The Jets put a lot on his plate. I would hope, just like we saw something similar with Sam Darnold when he got hurt his rookie year and got to watch McCown for a bunch of games, and then Sam the last 5 games of the NFL season in 2018 led the NFL in passer rating. I think we could see something similar when Zach Wilson comes back, where he gets a chance to watch how this offense is run from a different perspective and then comes back and competition brings out the best in everyone. Mike White will push Zach Wilson to get better, and that's how it should be. So, I mean, this was unbelievable. Jason Picker, haven't enjoyed a full game in a long time. This was a full 60 minutes of balling. It was weird for me watching this because early on I was very happy with the effort. I was very happy with the compete level. I was like, you know what? I don't think they're going to win this game, but at least they're not going to get embarrassed, right? The Jets are going to go out there and they're going to have a shot. And then when Cincinnati started to pull away, the frustration started to set in, same old, they're not going to win this game, but all right, they didn't embarrass themselves. But the Lawson interception was just unbelievable. The momentum swing that play created changed everything. I mean, the Jets outscored Cincinnati by 10 in the fourth quarter, 17-7. But if you go back to the game log, like the biggest play of the game in my mind was the interception that Lawson had, because it was the very beginning of a drive, right? The Jets had just previously scored on an 8-play, 75-yard drive. That was the touchdown drive that ended with the Ty Johnson pass that they reviewed. It ends up being a touchdown. And then you fast forward to the 2-point conversion. It doesn't work out. You're thinking, all right, well, the Jets are going to have to get another stop and hope for the best here. Is there enough time for them to do it? So you're down 31-26, and the first play of the Bengal drive, Shaq Lawson's interception there, was just unbelievable to go up and make that athletic play to put the Jets in position where the Jets were starting after that interception at the Cincinnati 14. So you're already in position to score a touchdown and take the lead. And then, the fact that you score a touchdown and then you get a chance to, go for 2 with the 2-point conversion. I mean, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can't believe it worked. And that's one of the better, 4 or 5 play sequence in recent Jet history. But that to me was the biggest play of the game. The Lawson interception to set them up deep in Bengals territory. They score, run the Philly special, a.k.a. the Jet special, and then the Jets go out there and put this game away. I mean, just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Big-time play in a big-time spot, as you see our guy Larry writes in on the comments. David writes in, Joe Douglas was criticized for not getting a veteran quarterback. How about it now? Now, in fairness, Joe Douglas did go and get a veteran quarterback. It just took until after Zach Wilson went down. They brought in Joe Flacco. I didn't love the move, but I understood why they did it. But as far as, Mike White, I give a lot of credit to the Jets. They watched Mike White all summer. They could have signed anyone, and they felt that he was capable of running their offense. And they were right. So we will have to eat crow for those that question whether or not Mike White can be a capable backup. Forget being a capable backup. Mike White has just guaranteed himself a long career in the NFL. Whether he's starting or not remains to be seen. We'll find out how it all plays out going forward. But this type of performance, an NFL team is not going to forget. You throw for 400 yards in an NFL game, like Mike White could have as long of a career as like Chase Daniel now. Like he set him and his family up for the long term by going out there and having this type of performance, because he's been bouncing around. I mean, he's been in and out of the Jets practice squad for a while. So like on a human interest level, Mike White just guaranteed himself a job for a very long time. Mike White equals Tom Brady. JH, from your lips to God's ears. Magic Mike. Love it. Let's all apologize to Mike White. Yes, let's enjoy the performance, man. I mean, we're Jet fans. We don't see this. I mentioned at the beginning, the last time a Jet quarterback threw for 400 yards, Vinny Testaverde was the quarterback in the year 2000. Mad genius. Can we say Joe Douglas got both Carter picks correct? I think we can. Let's not forget, one of the better picks the Jets have made this year was Michael Carter, the running back, and Michael Carter, the corner. No doubt about it. I mean, Michael Carter today had almost 200 yards all purpose. I mean, Michael Carter, the running back, 77 yards rushing on 15 carries. That's an average of 5.1 yards per attempt. Really solid stuff. Then as a receiver, 9 catches, 95 yards. I'm not bad at math, but 95 plus 77 is pretty close to 200. That's a hell of a day for a Jet running back. Hell of a day. And I see Robert McNair writes in, no relation to Cal McNair, who owns the Houston Texans, I don't think. Coming back after that Tyler Boyd touchdown, un-Jet-like. I mean, how many of us saw the Boyd touchdown and thought, all right, that's it? I know I did. I certainly did. So for them to bounce back after that, score, and then get the Shaq Lawson interception, I mean, it's beyond un-Jet-like. It really is. I mean, once again, say it out loud, Jet fans. Mike White, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mike White is going to gain a lot of followers on Twitter and Instagram. He has now become a household name in New York sports with that type of performance. We will never, regardless how this year ends up, we will never forget the Mike White game. There's no doubt about that. Chris writes in, plain and simple, fantastic day, Jets win. Yeah, look, I mean, we got to be enjoying that type of performance. You have to. I mean, there were so many positives from this game. So many positives. I think, once again, though, for those just tuning in, my biggest overarching takeaway from today is this was a statement win by the coaching staff. This was a statement win by Mike LaFleur going to the booth, calling his best game by far. This was a statement win for Robert Saleh. His defense bounced back. His defense hadn't had an interception all season until they came up with the biggest interception of all of them, where you're picking up Joe Burrow with the game on the line, Shaq Lawson with a great individual effort. So for this coaching staff to bounce back after the disaster that we saw last week, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. And it just, they don't win this game if Todd Bowles is coaching them, if Adam Gase is coaching them, right? I mean, it's been so long since we saw a game plan on both sides of the ball that was this well executed, specifically on offense with a backup quarterback. I mean, you were hoping the Jets just didn't get embarrassed. They were the better team. And we're being honest here. We're being fair. The Jets should have won by more than 3 points. They were that much better than Cincinnati here. If you look at the stats, the team stats here, first downs, the Jets had 32, Cincinnati only 18. If you look at total yardage, the Jets had 511, Cincinnati only had 318. If you look at yards passing, Mike White, 414, or total yards passing, 414, passing for the Bengals, 277. I mean, the Jets outrushed Cincinnati. They were better in the red zone than Cincinnati. The only difference in this game was the turnovers. The Jets took care of the ball a little better. They win this game by a lot more than just 3. They were simply put better than the team that came in today as the number 1 seed in the AFC. And if you look at the Jets' 2 wins this year, it's remarkable. It's over the Titans, who are, have played like one of the best teams in the NFL and have wins over the Bills, Chiefs, and now Colts in back-to-back weeks, and over the Bengals. This was quite the win by the coaching staff. Jack Hawk writes in, C.J. Mosley, heart of the defense. No doubt. Look, I didn't want to make C.J. Mosley missing last week the reason why the Jets were embarrassed, because that wasn't the reason. That was pathetic what we saw last week. It no doubt plays a big role. C.J. Mosley should get comeback player of the year consideration. He's had a phenomenal season. He's had a Pro Bowl caliber year. He's made a lot of big plays for this team. He brings leadership. He brings intangibles that other guys simply don't have. Him being back out there was phenomenal. It really was. Absolutely phenomenal. The Real J wants an update on Becton. It seems like we're still a couple weeks away from Mekhi Becton coming back here. And when he comes back, that will be very, very important, because down the stretch is not necessarily about wins or losses, Jet fans. It's about the young guys developing and playing better. Becton's a big part of this team going forward. Let's see. Let's be honest. Guys, AVT is a stud. Joe Douglas got it right with him. Elijah Vera Tucker was phenomenal today. He's been great all season. He got off to, I think, a rough start week 1, week 2. His PFF grades were not great. Simply put, though, guys, he's been phenomenal since then. He really has been. He's been outstanding, and Joe Douglas got that one right. There's a lot of things that Douglas has gotten right. I mean, there's some things he's gotten wrong, as we all know. But if we're going to be fair, he's got this past draft looks really good. It looks really strong. Both Michael Carters look really good. AVT looks good. We saw Elijah Moore get in the mob today. Douglas also hired Robert Saleh. Douglas also, drafted Zach Wilson. So there's going to be things that we're going to have to wait and see with the GM. He's only in his 3rd year, truly his only 2nd year, because he didn't get, a full offseason year 1 because of the, stupidness of the Johnson family to bring Joe Douglas in June of 2019. But today was a big win for Joe Douglas. I mean, the heat was starting to get on him. The Jets should not have been a joke. Like, even last week, they should not have been embarrassed. They should not have been destroyed the way they were. Like, we didn't even want to win last week. Just don't get embarrassed. Today, I didn't even expect to win, but don't get embarrassed. And they won the game. Like, that's awesome. That's what you want to see. Elijah Vera Tucker looks like the real part, though. It looks like the real deal. I think he's going to be a foundational piece for this team going forward for a long time. Hater writes in, what up, Jake? Great team victory. Very good game plan, both sides of the ball. Credit Saleh and his staff. Credit the players for showing heart and fight. Let's go Jets, 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 Jets. I do want to say this for the Jet fan. You guys brought it today. Maybe it wasn't the fullest stadium in the world. I don't blame you if you didn't want to show up and watch the Bengals as 11-point favorites against Mike White and the Jets. But the Jet fan was loud. And the Mike White chants at the end were awesome. Awesome. And this coaching staff brought it. They put this team in position to win. This was a team effort, a team victory. There were a lot of players that contributed a lot to this. I mean, the other thing that should be pointed out, the Jets for the last, I don't know, they've been bad for so long, but specifically from 2016 to now, they've been horrendous at home. The Jets are 2-1 at home this year. They got to win home games. If you're going to build a foundation, if you're going to change the culture of a losing, inept organization that the Jets have been, you got to win games at home. That is huge that they went out there and won this game at home today. Huge. It's just, you got to give this fan base something. And they went out there and certainly did more than that. I mean, just what a win. I can't say enough good things about this win today. Mike LaFleur upstairs for good. Robert Saleh, let's hope he keeps the beard as well. That's another big takeaway. Jets undefeated when Robert Saleh coaches with a beard. Sinkhead writes in. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. We'll get the Jack Hawks comment here because I love his mustache. Those black jerseys are fire. Yeah, I don't think the Jets have won very many games wearing the black jerseys the last couple of years. They beat the Giants wearing the jerseys I remember in 2019, but I can't think of another win they've had in the stealth black. Did they beat the Cowboys in the black jerseys in Darnold's 2019 year? I don't remember what jerseys they were wearing that day. Let's see here. Let's get to here's Sinkhead's comment. Probably the most fun game I've seen in years. That's because it was so unexpected. No one thought they were going to win. I didn't. I cover the Jets here on YouTube. I didn't think they were going to win. I was just hoping they just embarrass themselves. The Jets had 511 yards of total offense. 511. Mike White stepped up, man. And Mike LaFleur did a phenomenal job coaching this team up. The play calling was so drastically different than anything we've seen. So drastically different. The Bengals had a top 10 defense coming into the game today. This is not as Rex Ryan would say, a slapdick team that the Jets beat up today. The Bengals are good. Maybe they overlooked the Jets, but you know what? Screw them. How often have the Jets overlooked teams when they were good? They would always have that inexplicable loss. It's nice to, get the shoe on the other foot for once. Mike White, GOAT. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, love it. Mike White looked like an actual quarterback. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Loved the jerseys. Jet fans, you tell me, do we like the stealth black jerseys? I think they're pretty cool. Like, I think if you're gonna, get an alternate jersey for your team, I think you could do a lot worse than what the Jets have with the black jerseys. D-Mars wants to see the black jersey with the green pants and a black stripe. I like the jerseys. I'm a big fan of them. I think they're pretty cool. Sinkhead, Jamar Chase, 3 receptions. Yeah, let's talk more about this Jets secondary today. They held up. I mean, people that want to criticize Joe Douglas, Bryce Hall was a 5th-round pick. Bryce Hall was a 5th-round pick that went out there and And primarily today, we watched him cover Jamar Chase and held him to 3 catches for 32 yards. Now, we all know Chase did drop a touchdown at one point in this game, but so did Denzel Mims. So, those things happen throughout the course of a game. The Jets took advantage of the opportunity. B. Hall has played really well this year. He's been good. That is a very good pick by Joe Douglas. B. Hall being better than anyone expected as a 5th-round pick elevates Joe Douglas's first draft in 2020. So no doubt about that. Please hit the thumbs up button if you like the Jets win. Let's go, Jets. The last letter, absolutely. Thank you, Jet fans. If you could like this video, that helps the channel continue to grow, and we're going to have plenty of post-game coverage. While I have a bunch of Jet fans here, I do want to say this. If any of you are coming to Houston for the Jet-Texans game, please let me know. The Houston Jet fan group is putting together an awesome tailgate. It's like $65 for food, alcohol, and the food is going to be like Texas barbecue. So it's going to be top-notch stuff. It's going to be in the blue lot outside of NRG Stadium. So if you're going to the game here in Houston, maybe you live in the area, I'm not sure, let me know, because there's going to be an awesome tailgate before. And let me tell you, the Texans might be the worst team I've ever watched. So that could be a game that the Jets win. Zach Wilson should be healthy by then, and it should be good. Mike LaFleur is a genius again. Well, now we see why the Jets hired him, right? Mike LaFleur looked like Matt LaFleur today. Sam L., shout out to Keelan Cole. That guy's a pro. We have not spent a whole lot of time on Keelan Cole's catch. I'm sorry. That catch was too good to call incomplete. Nobody in the NFL knows what the hell a catch is. The Keelan Cole reception, that the one-handed grab Odell style, correct me if I'm wrong, Jet fans, but did that not feel like more of a catch than the Berrios catch on the very next play? I mean, what are we doing here? A no-brainer. That felt like more of a catch than the Berrios catch. I don't know. It's baffling. Baffling. D-Mars wants to keep 2 good quarterbacks. Look, Mike White could be here for a very long time, and let's see how it plays out. Do I expect him on Thursday to throw 500 yards or 405 yards again? Probably not. But I think Mike White showed you that this offense with the right player can be run well. And I cannot wait to see what this offense looks like when Zach gets healthy and LaFleur's coaching from the box. I think that's a huge component to all this. This was a different team today. The end-arounds to Elijah Moore, the quarterback, Philly special on the 2-point try, Jamison Crowder dropping back the pass. Like there were things today we just had not seen. It was a different team today. The energy was outstanding. Saleh did a great job taking the ball to start the game. Jets on the opening drive go right down the field. 11 of 11 we saw from Mike White to start this game. He was 7 of 7 for 65 yards on the opening drive. Mike White was balling today. And this was a tremendous, tremendous coaching performance all around. Mike White knows how to play within the offense. He does. He also has more experience than Zach Wilson. So, Zach Wilson's seeing things for the first time. Mike White's been around now for a bunch of years, so he was a little more composed today. He took the easy throws. You can't argue the arm strength, the talent, the physical gifts that Zach Wilson has. But what Zach Wilson can learn is what Mike White did. He took what the defense was giving him. He ran the plays within the game script. He ran the plays within the offense. The Jets checked it down to their running backs today. If you probably more so in today's game than if you combine any of the other games. I don't even think you could argue that. You had one Jet running back have 9 catches. You had another Jet running back have 5 catches. I'm bad at math, but that's 14 receptions from a running back, the running back position of the Jets. Michael writes in, having LaFleur up there will also help Zach Wilson later because now he sees the full field, how everyone is blocking, and adjust the play calling. That's the big thing. LaFleur came out and he told you he's more comfortable up in the booth. Saleh said, well, we want you on the sideline because that's where Zach Wilson wants you. All right, well, Zach Wilson now is going to have to adjust to LaFleur being up in the booth, and Matt Cavanaugh is this quarterback coach. Let him be more involved on the sideline like we saw today. No harm, no foul with that. This was awesome. LaFleur off. Here's someone's probably going to beat me to it because I'm about to announce it to 350 people watching this live. I would like to make a meme on Twitter of Mike LaFleur on the sideline, and it's a picture of Adam Gase, and then Mike LaFleur in the booth, and it's a picture of Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay. It was stunning. It was stunning to see a Jets offense have 500 total yards of offense. It was unbelievable. Roberto writes in, Jake, is it okay to dream that he's going to take the job from Zach? Let's see how it plays out. Look, Zach Wilson, he's got 2 to 4 weeks to recover. I've also said this on the show before, but I recognize a lot of people are maybe tuning in to my show for the first time. I think the Flacco trade was also a sign that maybe Zach Wilson is going to be out longer than just 2 weeks. I know they didn't put him on injured reserve, but I have a funny feeling that it's probably closer to 3 or 4 games that we don't see from Zach than just missing, today's game and then Thursday, and he's back, against the Bills 10 days from now. So I would say this, Mike White's going to get another opportunity, and if he keeps playing well, ride the hot hand and see what happens. But make no mistake about it, Zach Wilson's this team's future. And Zach Wilson, what he did against the Titans, should not be forgotten here. He played phenomenal in that game, and I think he can learn a lot from what Mike White did today. These things usually have a way to play themselves out. So Mike White has earned the opportunity to be this team's backup quarterback, though. I do not want to hear anything about a veteran quarterback anymore. Mike White now has starting experience, and in his first start ever, he started 11 of 11, and he ends up throwing for 405 yards and 3 touchdowns. So let's not worry about anyone losing their job here. Let's see how it plays out. But this now could maybe allow the Jet fan to exhale a little bit and, know that they actually might have a competent coaching staff. Once again, for those just tuning in, I still maintain the biggest takeaway of everything from today, besides the obvious, just a tremendous Jet win, is the fact that this coaching staff responded from one of the more embarrassing wins in franchise history. 2 weeks to prepare off a bye week for the Patriots, a team they saw already once. And for them to respond and have this type of performance, it was stunning. Top to bottom, offensively, defensively, the big plays. It was unbelievable to see this type of performance by the coaching staff. And that really is what we should be focusing in on, because these guys, regardless who the quarterback is, you hope they're going to be here for a very long time. And I got to be honest, I was very discouraged with what we saw last week. I wasn't saying fire Saleh. He had coached 6 games, but watching that game last week, it was no different than watching any of the games we saw in Adam Gase's era or the end of the Todd Bowles era. So what was changing? Today, something changed. They do not win this game with any of the previous coaching staffs they've had. Simply put, they don't. They don't have a chance. Zach Wilson's a kid. He's the Jets' future. I don't want him starting until he's healthy. 100%. Zach Wilson's 21 years old, 22 years old. He needs to be fully healthy. Let's not put him back out there. Zach's going to get a chance to play again this year, but let's enjoy this Mike White performance, because it will go down in Jet history. We'll be talking about the Mike White game for a very, very long time. I promise you that. What else am I missing, Jet fans? What else were some of your biggest takeaways from this game? We've gone for about 37 minutes so far. We got 379 people watching live right now. Can't thank all of you enough for taking some time to watch the channel. If you're new, do me a favor and smash the subscribe button. You do that by just clicking the subscribe button on the right-hand side of your screen. Like this video as well. If you like the Jets and you like today's game, hit that thumbs up icon on the bottom of your screen and help this channel continue to grow. I did see an interesting comment here that I want to get to from, let's see here. It was a comment about Zuniga, who had a sack today, but I'm having a hard time finding it here in the chat box here. Keep submitting your thoughts on this game and what stood out. I'm going to try and find this comment. But if I can't find it, basically, Jabari Zuniga having his sack today was a very, very good sign. It's another Joe Douglas draft pick. We had not seen a lot from him so far. And look, make no mistake about it. The fact that the Jets are finally getting some contributions from draft picks that were taken in 2020, that's a good sign for Joe Douglas. Make no mistake about it. Let's see. With that being said, what else we got? People are fired up over Michael Carter. Let's see. Michael Carter's a stud. Elijah and Carter had career days. Yes, they did. What do we got here? David, I see you're writing super chat on the comments here, but I'm not seeing anything on the super chat in my end. Thanks to everyone who does participate on the super chat here. Let's see what else we're thinking here. Jay Spears writes in. Jay's actually related to Brittany. I don't know if you guys know this. The domination statistically, aside from the turnovers and penalties, we were great. Yeah, look, I talked about this a little earlier. The Jets only won by 3, but let's be real. The Jets should have won by more. They were by far and away the better team. This wasn't a fluky win. The Jets were better. They outgained the Bengals by a wide margin. They were better than the Bengals by a wide margin. The turnovers, if Crowder doesn't have the ball go off his fingertips, and you had the miscommunication, I suppose, with Carter not turning around for the ball that Mike White, facing pressure, just tried to get rid of. I mean, the Jets easily win this game. So there's no doubt. Dustin Foster writes in, I'm a Bengals fan that can't even blame the Bengals completely. The Jets just played like a playoff team. Kudos to you guys. Yeah, I mean, the Jets were just better today. That to me is what's so stunning. It's not like the Bengals choked. The Jets were the better team, and they made the better plays when it mattered. Did they benefit at the end with that call with the helmet contact? Of course they did. But there's no guarantee that the Bengals were then going to go down the field and win the game either. So it's nice to get a break, because if you root for the Jets, you never get a break. So I do not care if any Bengals fan is upset that they got screwed at the end, because I've watched the Jets get screwed for years. So I'm good. I am okay. I will gladly admit the Jets got a huge break at the end of that game. I do not care. The Jets deserve a break. We're Jet fans, believe me. David writes in here, keep Mike LaFleur in the booth, like I said last week. LFG. David, you've said it. I've said it. I think most Jet fans have said it. Mike LaFleur himself said he's more comfortable in the booth than he is on the sideline. My only thing would be, what took so long? This should have been the move that was made last week following the bye week. We talked about ways to jumpstart this Jets offense. It's not a coincidence that on their opening drive today, they scored a touchdown. Why? Mike LaFleur was in the booth. He saw the field better. He had a good flow of the game. He knew what to call at the right time. It worked. Robert Saleh said anything is possible when asked if he would stick with Mike White over Zach Wilson if he continues to play like this. Yeah, anything should be possible. Let's not worry about that until Zach Wilson's fully healthy. If anything, this just gives him more time to get healthy, get right, and this will push Zach. Competition at any level brings out the best in you, especially in athletics. So this is a good thing that Zach Wilson's going to get challenged here by Mike White. I see this here from Horatio. Most first downs for the Jets since 1988. I don't know if that is factual. I'll take Horatio at face value. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the Jets had 500 yards of offense today. Just stunning. I mean, my God. I just saw a tweet here. Mike White in 2013 tweeted, I hate losing to rich, white, arrogant kids. That's our quarterback, baby. Ty Johnson after the game. Mike effing White. He's a savage. He's a dog. He's an animal. Is that not the best quote we've had here on Mike White? He's a savage. He's an animal. He's a dog. I love it. Angelo writes in, Mike White's performance indicates what an NFL quarterback can do by sitting and learning on the sideline. He saw the field very clearly, hence the poise. I think there's something to it, Angelo. I don't think anyone can argue Zach Wilson's got all the physical tools to be an outstanding quarterback. You don't get drafted number 2 by accident. But some of the things we've seen from Zach that he struggled with has been, just processing information, knowing where to go with the ball, taking the easy play when it's there. Mike White did that today. There weren't that many explosive plays down the field. It's not like the Jets went out there and, they were having 50-yard bombs. If you look at the Jets receiving today, the longest completion Mike White had was to Jamison Crowder for 26 yards. So what Mike White did so well today is he took what the defense was giving him. He played within the structure of the Jets offense. Sometimes we've seen Zach Wilson do that, but we've also seen him come out and make that crucial mistake or not be able to execute the easy underneath throw or the check down route. I think Zach Wilson's going to get pushed now by Mike White. Like when they watch the film, Zach's going to see, hey, maybe if I just trust this offense, the play's going to be there. Also, it's tough to judge Zach to this point because, 1, he's a rookie, and 2, his offensive coordinator wasn't in the booth yet. So let's see what Zach looks like when he gets the chance to play again and the Fleur's back up in the booth, because I promise you Zach Wilson is going to be so much better when we see this going forward. Devin writes in, Knicks, Qs, and Jets all in one weekend. I am not a Qs fan, although I have plenty of friends that are, so congrats to Qs on their win. But the Knicks, baby. Let's go, Knicks. Big win last night. RJ Barrett taking over. A pretty good sports weekend if you are a fan of the Knicks and the Jets. So no doubt about that. And if you're an Islander fan, they got a point yesterday in Nashville. I'm a big hockey fan, so Islanders got a big win, or a big point, I should say. You'd like to win the game, but they did get a point yesterday. Let's see. Sam Darnold also played well after injury, after getting to watch Uncle Josh from the sideline for a few games. Yeah, Mash, this was a point I brought up earlier. Zach Wilson getting the chance to watch Mike White is not the worst thing in the world. It's really not. We saw Sam watch Josh McCown, and he came back and he played really well down the stretch. So it is not a bad thing that we are in a situation here where Zach Wilson might have to miss a couple games. No doubt. D. Soto, 500 yards. Yeah, I don't know if you watched the game, D. Soto, but this was not this is not a prank by the Jets. They went out there today and they had 422 receiving yards, 97 rushing yards. They had over 500 yards of total offense. It just unbelievable. Mike White matriculated the ball down the field. Yeah, once again, I'll give the stat. The longest play Mike White had today was 26 yards. If you go back to that Jet win over Tennessee, Wilson had a couple 50-yard strikes down the field, right? The play to Corey Davis in the fourth quarter, just an unbelievable, throw and catch by Wilson to Davis. Mike White didn't need to do that today, but he still had the best game a Jet quarterback's had all year. Why? Because he had good protection, he played within the structure of the offense, and he took what the defense was giving him. Look at the checkdowns. The key stat in this game is 9 catches by Carter, 5 catches by Johnson, 14 catches by a running back. Unbelievable. Hibbity Bob Ross writes in, stop defending Wilson. I mean, I wouldn't call it defending Wilson. It's just pointing out facts. Like, you want to give up on Zach Wilson after 6 games. Hibbity Bob Ross, you might be a fool because he's not going anywhere. Zach Wilson's part of this team's long-term future. He was the 2nd overall pick. Zach Wilson's still capable of being really good. If Mike White could have this type of game, I'm telling you, Zach Wilson can do the same thing. So that's not defending Zach Wilson. That's just looking at what the Jets did today and why it was so drastically different than anything we've seen. Andrew writes in, it's great to see the Jets finally do the punching in the mouth. And also, it's great to see the Jets respond to getting punched in the mouth. It really is. It's great to see the Jets respond. And they were down late in this game. We talked about this briefly earlier, but to me, the biggest play of the entire game was late in this one, right? Let's go to fourth quarter. The Jets finally score a touchdown, right? They're in position after that 8-play drive, responding after the Bengals had a 12-play, 75-yard drive that put them up 31-20. And you're thinking, all right, well, this is where the Mike White fairy tale, this is where it comes to an end. They got punched in the mouth. Bengals are the better team. They're up by 11 late in the fourth quarter. All right, the Jets are going to lose this game. But no, 8 plays, 75 yards. Jets score a touchdown. It's 31-26. They don't get the 2-point conversion, which would have made it a 3-point game. Bengals start, next drive, first play. Shaq Lawson, individual effort, gets the interception on Joe Burrow. 2 plays later, 14 yards away. Jets punch it in 47 seconds, go for 2, and voila. 34-31 Jets. Defense ends up holding on the following drive. End of the game. That was the Jets responding to getting punched in the mouth. A young team figuring it out how to win. That's why when we talked at the beginning of this video about this being like a program-defining win for the Jets, that's what you saw. Like, you saw this team learn how to win at the end of this game. Overcome adversity, make a great individual play on defense, and then how often do we see the Jets make the play but don't finish? They finished. They scored 2 plays later on just a phenomenal throw. Mike White, Tyler Kroft, who would have saw that one coming? And the Philly special, Mike LaFleur. Mike LaFleur with a Corrado play call. Unbelievable. Mike White looked like Tom Brady. I mean, the way that the Jets ran the offense, they had a lot of things that you see good quarterbacks do. It's not always the explosive play downfield. The biggest play today was 26 yards. But Mike White still had over 400 yards because they took what the defense was giving them. And LaFleur called his best game by far. I mean, there's nothing to compare it to. Quentin Williams can play with one arm behind his back. Yeah, Quentin Williams had an outstanding game. You know who also had a really good game, Jet fans? Sheldon Rankins played outstanding as well. So, I mean, just a lot of really positive signs here. What I want to do before we wrap up here is I want you to submit anything that we maybe have missed during this conversation. What was your biggest takeaway from this Jets upset win over the Bengals? You tell me, and we'll get to some of your comments here as we wrap up. A reminder, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button on the right-hand side of your screen. It helps my channel grow. And 386 of you are watching this live. If you could like this video down below, it's super easy. All you got to do is hit the thumbs up button, and that's how you basically could pay me. That's all you have to do. Just like and subscribe. Thanks so much. Let's see what we got here. Bryce Hall did an excellent job. Yes, he did. He made some big plays today. 5th-round pick, Bryce Hall. Remember that. Jets have some real talent on this team that just needs seasoning. They need to develop. They need to grow. But isn't it more fun to watch these guys develop when you win games? Like, as much as we, as much as like we talk about, it's not about wins and losses. When you're in the game, you want to win. Like, winning is fun. We don't get to do this that much. So winning is fun. And Bryce Hall developing when you're winning is huge. Charles B., I see you wrote, did you talk about the O-line? Yes, we did. Only allowed 2 sacks today. All you need to know about the Jets and why they had this much success, go look at the amount of pressure Mike White faced. Wasn't much. Mike White only sacked twice, and he dropped back the pass 45 times. And he made a couple good plays with his legs, but he also, you know what he did really well? And this is why there was only 2 sacks. He didn't hold on to the ball that long. Zach Wilson at times this year has held on to the ball trying to make the explosive play downfield. He wasn't taking the checkdowns. Today, all the Jets did at the beginning of this game was take the check down, and it opened things up as we moved along. Michael Carter had 9 catches. Ty Johnson had 5 catches. Jamison Crowder had his best game in the season. 8 catches, 84 yards. Elijah Moore, 6 catches, 67 yards. We saw a Jets team that wasn't trying to force it to Corey Davis because he's the number 1 guy. He's the guy that they paid the big bucks to. They spread the wealth around, and it was great to see this offense function the way it did. Mad genius. Elijah Moore had a good game. He had an awesome game. And wasn't it nice to see Elijah Moore used a little bit in the rushing attack, couple end arounds? Like, that's all we're asking for, man. Just some creativity. Keep the defense on its heels. Keep them off balance. 1K Rich, great point. Jets red zone defense today. Outstanding. I mean, let's look at the team stats here, right? I mean, the numbers don't lie on this one. The Jets in the red zone, went out there today and, they held the Bengals down. They limited them to some field goals. They played a complete game. I mean, the Jets dominated this game. The final score doesn't reflect it, but the team stats do. First downs, 32-18. Total plays, 78-54. Total yards, 511-318. 511. This is the Jets. The Jets had 511 yards of offense today, folks. Simply put, just unbelievable. And really, a stat I haven't mentioned to this point, time of possession. The Jets had the football for 36 minutes in this game today. Cincinnati only had it for 23. That speaks volumes. The only reason why this game was close was because of the turnovers the Jets had. Other than that, the Jets were better today. The Jets were better against a team that came in with the number 1 seed in the AFC. I mean, that's not me saying that. That's a fact. So a very eye-opening win, telling win, and I think we all should be very excited about where this team's at. Jason makes a great point here. Does today's win change how the Jets approach the trade deadline? I don't think so. I this whole time have never felt like the Jets were going to just be sellers and just try and unload everybody. If they had lost today and got embarrassed, maybe the organization would change their stance on that. But I would say this, unless a team is offering you like at least a 3rd-round pick for Marcus May, I don't think they're just going to give him away. I think the Jets are going to try and win games, and May helps you do that. And I also would say this, I don't think they're just going to give away Jamison Crowder either, because we saw how important he was in this offense. So unless the Jets get blown away with offers for either of those guys, I don't think they're making any big moves. And I don't know if they really have anyone else that you're going to get a big return for. So, look, you listen if you're Joe Douglas, because that's what you do. You have to be a smart executive. You got to, if teams call you, you pick up and listen. You're doing your job by doing so. You're not doing your job if you don't. But like, I'll tell you guys, like, I don't think the Jets should be sellers at the deadline. They have plenty of picks. It should be about winning games and developing a culture. This was a culture-defining win. The Jets, with a backup quarterback, made a statement to the NFL that they're not going to be the laughing stocks of the league. That what happened last week was an aberration and it will not happen again. I guess also the best thing I could say about the state of the Jets is they don't play the Patriots again. So we're done with New England for the year. Thank God. Because, the Jets have 2 brutal losses in New England. And then, really outside of the Denver game, they've been competitive in all their other games. And I guess that's what's so frustrating. But you win a game like today. Now let's see if they could build on it, right? Short week on Thursday, but the Colts just played an overtime game against the Titans. Tough loss for them. And maybe the Jets could catch them. Short week. I mean, they're going to be banged up. T.Y. Hilton got hurt today. So, just keep winning games or just be competitive. Don't get embarrassed. And that was what we saw today from this team. Mash writes in 12-5. Here we come. Yeah, that would be that'd be something, right? Mike White leads the Jets to 12 wins. Unbelievable. Let's see. Evil Skittles writes in, I heard that Saleh will keep LaFleur up in the booth from now on. That is true. Saleh said after the game, LaFleur is staying up in the booth. West Coast Jets writes in, and thanks so much for the $10 super chat donation, West Coast Jets. I don't ask any subscribers for money at all. I do this for fun, but I love interacting with all my fellow Jet fans here on YouTube. So thank you so much for the contribution. We talk about the 2020 draft, but we're seeing little development with coaching on the practice squad. But we're seeing a little development. I read that wrong. Yes, we are seeing development with some guys on the practice squad. Zig showed something. Mims is sat, but he basically had no coaching last year. Yeah, Mims made some plays today. I think we're talking about this game a little differently if Denzel Mims goes out there and catches that ball that Josh Johnson put on him. Like, that should have been a touchdown. Throw was maybe a little behind him, but Mims would tell you he should have caught that. So Mims made some plays today, had a nice catch on that quick slant that they ran. He just needs to play. Denzel Mims just needs to be out there playing. Regardless who the quarterback is, Mims should be out there every Sunday, every game day. He should be out there on Thursday. Give him a chance to make plays. We saw that today. And West Coast Jets, it's an excellent point, right? We saw today, Zuniga have a sack. That's big. We saw today some of the other key players on this defensive line make some plays. Quentin Williams looks like he's going to be an all-pro caliber player. He's sacking guys with one arm because he's being held on every play. Sheldon Rankins, I thought, defensively made some plays. This Jets defense made plays when they had to. In the past, they've failed to come up with a play in a big spot. That wasn't the case today. They finally got the big play. And Shaq Lawson, another move that Joe Douglas made, by the way. Look, we could bring the heat on Joe Douglas when it's warranted. Let's give the man praise when it worked. A late-round draft pick to get Shaq Lawson directly contributed to the Jets winning this game today. They don't win this game today if Shaq Lawson doesn't come up with the tipped interception on Joe Burrow, and then the Jets 2 plays later. Unbelievable. They score a touchdown, go for 2. The Jets special, we're calling it, and they go out there and they win this game. Unbelievable. Let's see. Cheedy wants to trust the process. Hell yeah, we're trusting it on a day like today, no doubt. Jason looked it up for us. The Jets wore their white jerseys when they beat Dallas in MetLife with Sam. So this is by far and away the best win the Jets have had when they've worn their stealth black jerseys. There's no doubt about that. Like, it's not even close. By far and away, the best win that the Jets have had in these black jerseys. The only other win I can think of that was a good win was the Giant game in 2019, but both teams weren't any good. I mean, the Giants stink. The Jets weren't good in 2019, despite the strong finish to the season. It was Fugazi, as we all know. So, make no mistake about it. That was like the only game that you look at and you could point to that was a good win with the Jets wearing the black jerseys. Blue blood. Jets played today, allowed playmakers to have space. Denzel Mims is a weapon. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He made plays today. Should have had a touchdown. Elijah Moore made plays today. Jamison Crowder made plays today. It wasn't like we need to fire the ball into Corey Davis because he's our number one. We saw them spread the ball out. Mike White, I can't say enough good things about Mike White. Like, that was one of the more impressive quarterback performances we've seen in a long, long time. It really was. When does our big left tackle come back? Probably at least 2 or 3 more weeks is what we've been hearing on Mekhi Becton here. He will be back, and you want him to play well down the stretch. And most importantly, stay healthy. Stay healthy. Go out there and, just look like the foundational piece that he looked like last year. I mean, the only question mark you have with Mekhi is, can he stay on the field? He's a big dude. He is a monstrous human being. He's going to be good if he's healthy. And it's important for him to be healthy because you got him and AVT. That's a foundational block on the left side of your line. AVT is phenomenal, by the way. For all the criticism of Joe Douglas drafting in 2020, Elijah Vera Tucker is a steal. He's been one of the best offensive linemen in the league, not just rookies. Statistically, I'm backed up by that if you look at the PFF grades on how he's graded out. Blue blood, AVT, already owning his space. Yeah, look, he's been dominant. He's been impressive. There's no doubt. Sam, O-lines played well. Yeah, they did. Only 2 sacks today when Mike White is dropping back 45-plus times today. Just an unbelievable performance by the Jets. All right, guys, we've gone for about an hour. I want to thank all of you who took time to watch this postgame. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jake Asman. I host a daily YouTube show mostly about the Jets. I also post clips to my daily radio show either on ESPN Houston 97.5 or on SportsMap Radio, which is a nationally syndicated network that originates in Houston, and the show airs on stations throughout the country. If you like what you saw, you could do me a favor by hitting the subscribe button on the right-hand side of your screen. You also can like this video. If you like the Jets, please like this video because we finally had something to really like about what we saw today. The like button is down below. You hit that thumbs up icon, and that helps this channel continue to grow. The way YouTube works is the more comments, the more likes, the more subscribers, the more people see your videos, and thus more people can interact and talk Jets football after every game, and obviously throughout the week as we get set for each matchup and cover all the storylines surrounding this team. I am also on Twitter at Jake Asman is where you can find me. It's just my name, ASMAN. It's pronounced as in AZ, and then Min, MIN. I want to thank all of you who took time to watch. 300 of you guys watching this live. Thanks so much for taking the time. Enjoy the rest of your football Sunday. We'll be back with more videos tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week to react to more of this win. And it's a short week for the Jets. They got a game on Thursday night in Indianapolis against Carson Wentz and the Colts. We'll talk more about that coming up throughout the week as well. Thanks to everyone who took time to watch. Once again, my name is Jake Asman. This is the Jake Asman Show, post-game after a Jets upset win over the Bengals. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. I'm out. See ya.